Hey there, I'm John Zimmerman with Upper Creek Angler, and we're continuing to tie through Steve Scoose's great book, Grayling Flies. This is going to be one of the patterns out of fly number 63, the Perdigon patterns. One of the great things about the Perdigon style is that it's a style, and you can mix and match and play around with body types all that you want once you have the general working of how the fly is put together. So I'm going to tell you my favorite version of it. One of the things that is common to all of these flies, whether they're tied on traditional nymph hooks or curve hooks, or as I'm tying it here on a jig hook, is that you never use the entire body of the fly, of the hook. So you always stop just short of where the hook shank ends. So what you tend to in effect do is tie a fly that is one size smaller than the hook that you are using. So I'm using a number 12 here, so that would put me at tying basically a number 14. So as I generally do, I ran that thread up the shank of the hook over the waste material, the coq de lion. That's what we're using for the tailing material here, and I'm just going to work on the taper of this for a moment. These are little bullet flies. They have a steep taper, and once we are finished working on the taper, we'll tie in our ribbing. And this is my favorite version of this fly. It's this kind of Kelly green thread with some chartreuse thread as the ribbing on it. And I'm getting close to being done. This is 140D chartreuse thread. It will try to flatten out on you, so if that does start to happen, you'll just need to spin it to cord it back up, and you'll be good to go again. So before you finish this off, look for any flat spots in your taper, and then just give this a spin. Oh, you see there it already did it. Make sure it's nicely corded. And this is where you'll want to tie these in batches. I usually tie these Perdigon patterns in about a dozen at a time, and you'll see why when we get to the next spot. Now you could do any number of things here. A lot of folks will reach in and swap out thread colors and put in an orange or pink hot spot right here. That fluorescent green thread is so hot spotty that I don't need another one for this fly. It may or it may not show up on the video, but if it does, you can really see how the fluorescent green thread shows up or fluoresces under UV. So we don't really need any more hot spotting on this. The hot spots throughout in the ribbing. The next thing that we do with all Perdigon flies is we add a drop. Sometimes it takes more than a drop of black fingernail polish, and bring that right down on the bead. This is will be the wing buds for these. Now if you didn't wrap a lot of thread like I didn't there on that one over the slot in the slotted bead, you'll need to apply a couple of drops of the of the fingernail polish, because it'll sink down and dive in. If did like I did on that one, then you're kind of good to go. The next thing that we're gonna do is kind of make this fly bulletproof, and this is one of the hallmarks of the Perdigon style. We're gonna coat the entire body of this fly in UV cure. So I'm gonna cap my bottle back up. I am a huge fan of the Deer Creek UV cure. I think it's the best stuff on the market. What you want to do is work on the cure goo so that you maintain a bulleted overall body style before you get your UV light out. So just kind of using your bodkin or whatever needle source that you are using to really get a continued taper on that, you'll be good to go. Hit it with the light, and hopefully you're able to see how much that UV green fluorescent chartreuse thread really fluoresces under UV light. So again, this is just one of many of these style of Perdigon patterns. They all work. I love every one of them that I've ever tried. One of the great things about them is they just rocket right to the bottom. There's nothing on them to catch any water tension at all, so they're great fly. Experiment with all kinds of body materials, quills, synthetic quills, quill threads, thread bodies just like these. You can use tinsels and wire ribbing and everything else for ribbings. Imagination is your only limitation, so definitely tie yourself up some of those. They catch a lot of fish.